I didn't plan on being away for so long, but I'm glad to report that I am back. It's been raining like hell here. I've gotten a little bit lazy, haven't done my skincare back to back. I've had this really bad flu for months, for more than 3 months. Let's talk about all the books I read during my hiatus. The first book I read was Yinka, Where is Your Husband? I rated this book 5 stars. This book made me feel so many things. There were so many times that I found myself asking Yinka, what the hell do you think you are doing? This book captures beautifully the struggles of being a woman, especially in Africa, and being in your 30s, being successful, and having to deal with the pressures of our aunties and moms, wondering and asking when you are bringing a man home or when you are getting married. Inka is successful. Nobody knows that she secretly hates her job. Is the only thing that she has going on for her because her mom and her aunties are always on her neck about when she's getting married. There were parts that were super ridiculous but really real. When one of her aunties started a prayer session for her during her friend's bachelorette or something like that. Love Yinka so much. Not because she was great overall, but watching her go make so many dumb decisions and spiral to the point where she started coming into her own was so beautiful, but I wasn't expecting it to make me cry. The second book I read is Favorite. I rated this book a 6 stars. Yes, crazy. I know I've literally never done this ever, but I had to. It was very necessary. This book had everything that I loved. The chemistry between the MMC and FMC was so good. The the plot, the plot twist was insane. Characters super relatable, and of course, it had enough drama to keep me at the very edge of my seat. And this book not only cemented my love for sports romance, but also made me realize how much I love it when the MMC is down bad for the FMC. And in this book, our MMC is obsessed with Katarina, our FMC. Our FMC, Katarina, has always wanted to be ice dance champion. She meets Heath for the very first time when they were kids. They form some sort of friendship. He is not just obsessed with Katarina, he's devoted to her to the point that he went to Katarina's rivals, the Russians, to learn how to skate properly just so he could be with her and to help her win the championship. The last time a book hooked me like this book was when I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I love the other side characters as well. They were also very flawed, very real, and I was able to connect with each and every one of them. And you just see the lengths to which people are willing to go just to get what they want. The third book I read was The Rewrite. I didn't know this book was a second chance romance until I started reading it. Loved every minute of reading this book. I rated it a 4 stars. Our FMC went on a rampage and wrote a whole book about an ex bashing him, of course. For her to be presented with the opportunity to write his memoir. MMC was looking for a ghostwriter to write his memoir, At first, I called our FMC crazy for agreeing to write her ex's memoir, but it was quite a journey. The two of them meeting once again and realizing that they never got over each other, and for them to actually see each other without any filters, without any lies, was just so beautiful. And it was also fun to get to know the MMC. I really, really love the side characters, the best friend of the FMC and the best friend of the MMC getting together. I really hope that this author decides to come out with a book on their own love story. The fourth book I read is Heavily Bodied. This was my first fantasy read of the year. I rated this book as 6 stars because it blew all my expectations away. Our FMC Elara, she's a princess on the run because there was this prophecy that said she was going to fall for a star. So in this world, stars are gods, and that will be her undoing. That star is the king of the stars, and he murdered her mother and father and took over her throne. She had nowhere else to go than the rival kingdom, where she entered into an agreement with the king because the other part of the prophecy is that only she can defeat the king of the stars. I absolutely love her. She is the queen of shadows. She can cast illusions. One of my favorite parts of this book was when she made a good man pee in his pants. She has the power to make your deepest, darkest nightmare a reality. Leon, I hope. So he is the prince of light and fire. When he meets Elara for the first time, you can tell there's so much tension between them. They had great chemistry. They ended up being one of my favorite book couples. They ended up falling in love with each other to the point that they would absolutely kill anybody for each other. And I love that. In my own words, he is the light to her darkness, and she is the darkness to his light. I love the found family in this one, especially with Alara and her handmaiden, who ended up being a demigod. The side characters in this book were really relatable. I love them so much. They all had their backstory. And my favorite part was when they launched a rescue mission alongside the MMC when Elara was captured. The next book I read is You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. I rated this book a 4 stars. This really pulled at my heartstrings. Faye has lost her husband and she's trying to move on. And for a very long time, she decided not to start dating or getting involved with anyone because she had this deep seated guilt that she is a monster because her husband died and she survived, even though she had some scars on her body. One day she decides to go out with her best friend Joy. She randomly hooks up with a guy. She entered into a friends with benefit situation with this guy. She always kept him at an arm's length until she met Nasir. So that's when things started getting interesting. She started this friendship with Nasir. We all knew that Nasir was into her, and she was kind of into him until the plot twist that no one saw coming happened. Nasir's dad, who is also widowed, he had lost his wife a really long time ago, and since then hadn't tried getting together with anyone. There was a brief moment in his life where he did try with someone different, but then his children didn't go for it. he had to make a choice between his children and his love, and he chose his children. Nasser invites Faye on a trip to the island where his father lives. She found herself liking him. She did try to get over her feelings, but what she didn't know was that it was mutual. It was just so beautiful seeing two people who have all lost spouses come together and find love. And it was super satisfying to see Alim be firm and go after his happiness no matter what his kids thought. I've had a really fun year. It has been the best reading year so far. I think I was going to be able to sit down and do all of this in one sitting. I'm going to try to edit everything today and post it tomorrow. I'm supposed to start a new book for the month of July. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.